Welcome to Bulgaria.
Thank you.
This is your second visit, I think. How do you find the audience? Do they like the music?
Well, I mean, the time that I played here before was a good audience. I hope they like it tonight.
Sure they will.
I hope so.
How is the tour going?
We just started. We've only done one show, and it went well. So.
Excellent. How did you gather the band? It's awesome musicians in there.
Well, this band, except for Kevin Hayes, everybody plays with James Taylor. So we've spent a lot of time playing together.
Yeah, and they have a good chemistry between them going on. So it's a already made band. Excellent. We are only a couple of days away from the premiere of your latest DVD, Way Back Home, which is, I think, shot in your hometown, Rochester. The cover is awesome, by the way. Very Picasso-like.
All right.
What is special about this live gig for you?
Well, because I went back to my hometown, and in the theater where we did the show was where I went to college, and we did a lot of concerts when I was in college at that Eastman Theater. It's part of the theater is part of the Eastman School of Music, and that's where I went to college. So I had a lot of history in that theater. Done a lot of shows there, and a couple of Chuck Mangione did Friends in Love there and Together. So there was a lot of history, and I have a lot of family and good friends in Rochester.
So it's really
it was really nice to get back there. My brother is there. I have cousins and good friends.
Excellent. Your discography is so huge. My fingers start hurting while scrolling to the bottom end. How were you able to be so versatile in so many styles and with so many musicians? It's incredible.
Because I like all different kinds of music, and I grew up listening to a lot of different kinds of music, and I grew up playing a lot of different kinds of music, and I was fortunate enough to get called to play, a lot of different kinds of music, and that was a challenge for me. But I love that challenge, and I just I think the fact that I like a lot of different kinds of music is one of the reasons why I could do it. I mean, if I wasn't interested, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't
be able to do it. But I was challenged by all the music, and it was good.
Yeah, absolutely, it was good. Yeah. Is there an artist that you haven't been able to work with and you wished you had the chance?
Well, no, I don't really think about that too much. Although, I really, Prince was someone that I would have liked to been able to have a relationship with. But I feel pretty fortunate with the people that I've played with.
There's good place for this.
So what were we saying?
About you were saying about Prince.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, he was. I loved his stuff, and it would have been great to been able to make some music with him. But I don't think about that kind of stuff. I try to just be grateful for what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and keep it in the moment,
That's all life is.
Mm.
Has there been a project or working with a musician that has changed maybe the course of your musical career?
I think that working with a lot of different people helped me grow musically. And I think I've learned from all the people that I've worked with. A person that had a big effect on me back in the 60s was Chick Corea, and he had been with Art Blakey's band, and with Chuck Mangione was playing in the band. And Chuck left Art Blakey's band, and Chick left with him, and they came to Rochester, and we worked 6 nights a week with Chick. I was in college, and I was working with Chuck and Chick, and Joe Romano and Frank Polero was playing bass. And one day I went in the club and I got a new set of drums, and Chick went and sat down behind the new set of drums and started playing, and seeing him play was very inspirational to me. I had been listening to guys like Tony Williams and Elvin Jones before. I always listened to those guys and try to figure out what they were doing. But when I saw Chick sit behind the drums, just his approach cleared up a lot of the questions I had about what Tony and Elvin were doing, and seeing his freedom behind there. So that was a big that changed me.
Maybe that was a very different approach to what you were used to.
Right, different, and it helped me learn that. It helped me learn how to play that way, like Tony and Elvin. He helped me.
Yeah. In that connection, while I was doing the research for this interview, I stumbled upon a video from a Buddy Rich memorial where you, Dave Weckl, and Vinnie Colaiuta played together.
Right.
And all those guys are amazing drummers. And I was watching it. It's Dave Weckl first. He's doing his thing, shredding all over the place. Then comes in, Vinnie Colaiuta comes in, again shredding. And then you come in with something a bit simpler, but it just blew my mind because it sounded much more impressive. And I started thinking, and then I watched a few of your clinics, and you say that there was a point when you realized less is more.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I do think less is more, and but I mean, in that particular situation, after Dave plays and after Vinnie plays, it's like it's hard to go above that.
Yeah.
So I had to come back down and start another thing. You know what I mean? So
I didn't mean that you can't play.
No,
like
I know, but I mean, it's just like.
It's groove oriented.
Yeah, for me, I like the groove, and it isn't a competition. You know what I mean? So, and those guys are such
amazing.
Great. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're wonderful musicians and great drummers, and I thought the way that it all worked, we paid a lot of respect to each other, which they were, you know. I love those guys, and I think that they love me, and it was nice to. I'm glad we did that, and we all we ended up safe. You know what I mean? We did all right.
Excellent. Well, because many young musicians, including me, and I think including him, we've always strived to play faster, bigger kits, and you actually miss on the most important stuff.
Well, you can get inspired by technique, and I'm inspired by technique too. I love guys that I'm inspired by some of these young guys that can Gerald Hayward and Aaron Spears, and have you heard those guys, or have you heard Chris Dave? Or
Yes.
or Mark Juliana. Yeah. So there's the technique. I love all the technique, but the purpose, I think the purpose of knowing the technique is to try and be able to apply it to the music, and so it makes sense musically.
Yeah.
And so it's not just technical, but it has something. It takes the music to where it's supposed to be. So,
Absolutely.
and for me, I think it's good if you start out with a groove, then it inspires all the other things.
Absolutely. I was wondering, when do you feel more pressure, when you're coming on stage or in the studio and working for someone else, or like tonight when you're presenting your own music?
I think that for me it's the same. For me it's the same. I give them as much as I can give to whatever situation that I'm in, and so when I would, if I'm working for James Taylor or for another or for Joe Sample and Randy Crawford, I would work with them. I try to give it all 100%.
Every night.
And this too. I mean, I approach this the way I would approach the other things. I mean, just trying to make it sound good musically,
Absolutely. Never holding anything back.
No, I mean you don't hold back, and you give it what you do the best you can for the music, not for your ego, but for the for the music, and so that's the way I approach it. I try to let the music sort of bring the playing out of me.
Not the other way around.
No, I try not to do it the other way around.
Excellent. Let's talk about drums a bit. You've kept your set pretty much unchanged throughout your career.
Pretty much. I used to have two floor toms on one stand, right? But now I have the floor toms with legs. So if I only want to use one floor tom, I can, I
can do it.
I can do it. I think it's important with the different size. There's some bandstands that are very small. You don't need all the drums all the time. So, I mean, this is for this gig. The four toms is good, but there would be other gigs where maybe I would only use two toms.
You still have this problem.
Huh?
You still have this problem. You're a legend, and you still have this
Well,
problem.
it's not a problem. It's just a choice. Sometimes you don't need all of the, sometimes it's less is
more.
Even with the amount of drums that you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's nice to sort of try to challenge yourself to do it on
less.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I have been in these situations more times than I wish I
Right.
kept in. Vinny Colaiuta, who we previously talked about, has proven that jazz drummers can hold their own in metal setting, as he has an album with Megadeth.
Did he?
Yeah.
Huh, I
Yeah,
bet you that was fantastic.
my guitar player told me about it, and I was like, no,
When was that?
I'm not sure. But have you ever thought about doing something like this? Heavier?
Metal?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love all kinds of stuff, but that's at this point in my life,
A bit too
at
far
my
away.
age, I don't know if that's the way to go. I mean, I'd love to be able to do it, but you know, you need the opportunity to be able to play that to play that with that kind of energy. You need. I would have to do it, you know, for a while to just sort of
Get into
get in
it,
shape
yeah.
and get in shape and to get comfortable playing that kind of music. So, but that's great, Vinny. I'm sure that Vinny
Yeah.
would be able to do that.
You mentioned your age, and you look awesome. And I was, because I'm drummer and he is, and we were wondering what's the secret in being so good all these years.
Well, I started exercising. I think exercise is important. I didn't start exercising until I was in my 40s. But it's very important, especially for guys on the road. You know, it's to keep the blood circulating, keep your system moving. And so exercise is important. Diet's important.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you know, I stopped. I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking. So I think you have to really, you know, take care of yourself. You know, eat right, exercise, and keep your head on straight spiritually too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very important.
So all of that's important. Spiritual, mental, and physical. You know.
How are you able to work out when you're on the road?
Well, I mean, I go if I jog, so I can.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, I can. Today I went in the gym. Sometimes there's a beautiful park right outside, or there's a river that I like, you know, to get outside and do it. But only when I'm not afraid of getting lost. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But today I went into the fitness room, and so I that's all of that stuff's important. You know.
Absolutely. Have you ever worked with any Bulgarian musicians? I've seen Peter Erskine with Milcho Leviev. It was amazing.
Who was he playing with?
Milcho Leviev.
I don't know.
He's the piano player of Don Ellis band.
Of Don Ellis.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
how old is he?
he's maybe 75 or 78.
He played with Don Ellis's band years ago, right?
Yes. And actually, Simon Phillips is very fond of his playing. He said that because he brought the old times in a jazz setting in the 70s when old times were not so.
Because the odd times are very natural for people from here.
Yeah, so we were wondering whether you've listened to some national folklore music.
I heard some of the choir. It was beautiful. The choir music from Bulgaria.
Choir is more church music.
Right.
Whereas the folk songs, which are almost always in odd times, 9/8, 7/8, 11.
Right. I don't, but I don't know the music. I haven't really, you know, dug into Bulgarian music. But you know, I would like to. I would like to do.
We'll
that.
have to do something about that too.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah. Frank Zappa back in the day was very much impressed with the Bulgarian wedding band, Ivo Papazov, Ibriama's band, and he was saying that those guys are insane, always playing in not the time signatures and making them sound like four.
Unbelievable,
Essentially.
yeah. The stuff I've done things with Michael Urbaniak, and he did a lot of odd time things, but not with anyone particularly from Bulgaria, which I would love to do that, man. I would love to have the opportunity to do that.
Excellent.
If there is some way to send you some links or
Yeah.
something through your manager or whatever.
No, I'll give you my
or
email.
your email. We will do that.
Send me some music. I would love to.
Lovely.
I would love because you know all I do is I just play stuff that I heard other guys play that I love. You know what I mean? I just ended up copying everyone that I loved along the way, and I still hear things that young guys do that I would love to be able to do. I mean that's so. It's nice to hear new music.
Yeah.
So send me some stuff. I would love to hear it.
It
We
would be
will,
a
for
privilege and honor to do that.
A discussion last night during my rehearsal with the band prompted this question: how much input do you grant other people when it comes to writing your drum parts? I mean, like other band members and producers.
They have. I mean, it's like it's all about coming to an agreement.
Absolutely.
You understand? So it's all about coming to an agreement and for the music to and about the tempo, about the time, about the dynamics. So I mean, you have to you have to listen to other people's ideas, and they listen to mine, and we sort of throw it all out there, and then the artist will have something to say, the producer will have something to say, and then you sort of just take all of that stuff into consideration, and then the final decision is how it feels when you play the music.
Listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, because we're all trying to, even though it's hard talking about music, because you use words to talk about something that
Yeah.
it's hard, but as long once you get an agreement, and then when you play, you can feel if it's working or if it's not, and that's how it works. You know what I mean? You take everything into consideration and use what some things work, some things don't work, and there's no ego involved. If someone brings a suggestion and it doesn't work, you tried, but it's not. They don't feel bad. You're just trying to get
The best thing
the
out of
best thing for the
situation.
music and for the artist. And the bottom line is, you're there. The artist and the producer are the people that are paying. So
Yeah.
you have to. That's the goal, is to try and give them what they want. Even if what they want might not be what you think it should be. If they have something in mind, then that's the job, to try and give them what they want.
Maybe that's why they hire you, because they want the Gadd sound.
Well, they probably
you've kept
maybe
it
not. It's
consistent
not the
on-
sound, or they want input. They want to see if they'll say, what do you think? Do you think it'll work? I said, well, you know what? Why don't we try it?
Let's try. Yeah.
Let's try, and we'll see. That when you hear, then you'll know. But it's all about trying to make them feel comfortable, and giving them, helping the music get to where they want it to be.
Excellent. So it's time maybe to go a bit outside of music topics. I know that you have matching tattoos with your wife. How did that idea came about?
I don't know. I mean, the fact that she has like some of the same tattoos makes them more meaningful for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she has this tattoo. Oh no, she has this one across. She had a scar on her stomach, so she had covered it up there, and she's got this. She's got Om, and she's got the Chi. I was best man, and my wife was maid of honor in my friend's wedding, and these tattoos came out of that ceremony. But the ones that I share with her are more special than the other.
Absolutely, yeah. My girlfriend really liked the idea, so I am under pressure now.
But you have tattoos already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she has quite a bit more than me. So
She's got tattoos?
yeah, whole
Oh, the
arm
whole thing.
with,
Yeah.
with
My
the shoulder.
my son does that too. He's got the sleeve.
Uh-huh.
I think I got enough right now. This is good.
She has an anatomic heart with my print on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's
It is.
good.
But as Spas philosophy is that a tattoo is only has to be meaningful. It's only then it has value.
Otherwise, yeah.
Anyways,
And lastly, what are your interests outside of music? Maybe sports or something?
Well, like I say, I try to. I try to exercise. I'll watch like the playoffs. I'll watch sports.